Hello, hello. All right, so we are going to finish up the different steps that are on the English project that you have. I'm going to show you that. So you would have finished questions 1, 2, and 3 from step 3 last time. Now what you're doing is you're going to finish up these questions here. What you're going to be doing is finishing up the steps today. So with that being the case, you need to focus on telling me details like what are the people's houses like. Describe them. Please do not just simply say big houses or small or this, that. Like, give me as much detail as you can so that I really can picture what they would look like. Because remember, I'm not requiring you to actually write the story or create a video or whatever it is. I'm not actually requiring that. That's only for extra credit. So with that being the case, that means that this is the only viewpoint I'm going to have of what your world looks like. And so with that being the case, you need to give me as much detail as possible so that you're really, what you're doing is you're trying to sell your idea. Think of me as if someone that you're coming to get financing for whatever idea that you have. Well, if that's the case, you're wanting to make sure that you are really helping that person get really be able to visualize, that they can see, just based on your description, they can see what it is that your world would look like. So it described the houses, how they make money. Is it exactly as it looks like right now, or is there a different way of making money? Is it where they automatically get a certain amount of money? Like you could come up with all kinds of things. Like I remember there's this one movie called, I think it was just called Time or In Time or something like that. It's actually one I think that Justin Timberlake was in. But all that to say is it was one where time was currency. So it was how much time you had left to live. And that was, is like it showed up on their forearm. It would show up how long they had to live. And so that's what they did. They had it where they used the amount of time you could live on Earth as a currency for how they would pay for things and all of that kind of stuff. So you don't have to have it be original, or you don't have to have it be exactly as it is right now. You could, but you could totally do something different that is a currency for how people will make money and how they, yeah, how does that look? And then also tell me how they spend their free time and have fun. In Ender's Game, there was definitely some commonalities as far as he had a video game that he liked playing, but it was obviously different though, in the sense where it was like tapping into his subconscious and being able to see what was most important to him and fine tune the game for him. And that's something that we don't really have to that extent nowadays. And so be descriptive. Tell me what they do to have fun. You're going to go into this one. Tell me more about your main story. I want to know what they do for work or for school, whatever it might be, what they look like. Again, you're going to what their specific house looks like. So earlier you were describing generally how the houses look like. This one, just tell me exactly how your character's house would look like. How does it compare? How do they move or talk? Do they have a unique way of expressing themselves or moving around? What are some of the ways that other people view them? In Ender's Game, they explained how Ender was sometimes seen as a friend, sometimes seen as a threat, an enemy. They were threatened by him because he was so young, and yet he was like moving up the ranks really quickly. So what would the other people in your story, how would they perceive your character? And then what is his favorite thing to do for fun? Last part here, what is the conflict? So keeping in mind, I need details. You are approaching this from the perspective of trying to sell me this. You're trying to sell me your project that you're wanting to create. Think about it that way. Pretend that you are, like, let's say a famous Hollywood screenwriter. And so you want to be able to sell this idea you have for a story. You need to give me details. So what's the main conflict? What's the problem that happens? What needs to get resolved? What goes wrong to really get that story going? And then also, is your conflict going to end up being something where it's like person against person, or is it where the conflict, it's inner conflict within his thoughts or her thoughts and emotions? Is it anything to do with conflict with society in general and how they're perceived, or with a certain technology or environment, like whatever it might be? But like, where's the conflict and what is that conflict going to be? Is it the person against themselves, against another person, or against society in general, or whatever it may be? So you're doing that. This part here is going to be happening in the next lesson. So you only have to finish everything, all the steps, including step 5. That's it. And I'll be back for next class with the rest of your assignment.